French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived in Beijing for a two-day state visit to the People's Republic of China. His arrival comes at a time of escalating trade tensions between China and the European Union and amid ongoing diplomatic efforts to stabilize relations between Beijing and major European capitals. Macron landed in Beijing on December 3, 2025, accompanied by First Lady Brigitte Macron. The French delegation is expected to engage in discussions focused on trade, investment, market access, and broader geopolitical issues that continue to shape China-France and China-EU relations. As the presidential aircraft came to a stop on the tarmac at Beijing International Airport, Macron and the First Lady stepped out to a formal but reserved welcome. Camera crews captured the moment as they descended the aircraft stairs, marking the official start of the French leader's two-day program in the Chinese capital. The arrival sequence began at 05 on the official shot list. In this initial frame, President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron were seen disembarking from the French presidential aircraft. The medium shot showed both figures walking steadily down the aircraft stairs against the backdrop of the airport's brightly lit arrival area. Moments later, in a tracking shot between 09 and 028, the French president and the First Lady continued descending the staircase, moving toward a welcoming line formed near the aircraft. The presence of multiple cameras reflects the significance of Macron's visit and the international attention directed toward renewed high-level engagement between Paris and Beijing. At 028 on the shot list, Macron met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The medium shot captured Macron and Wang Yi shaking hands and exchanging remarks in a brief but formal interaction. This moment underscores Beijing's diplomatic emphasis on receiving the French delegation at a senior level, reinforcing the importance China attaches to this visit. Between 033 and 042, the footage shows Macron and Foreign Minister Wang Yi continuing their conversation. The two leaders stood side by side on the tarmac, accompanied by interpreters and aides. While the raw footage does not include audio of their exchange, their interaction signals the opening of a broader agenda of talks expected to follow over the next 2 days. After the formal greeting, the next sequence at 042 shows Macron moving toward his motorcade. The tracking shot captures him walking with aides before entering an official vehicle. The close-up shot between 050 and 055 highlights the French flag mounted on the vehicle, emphasizing the state visit protocol. The final image in the shot list, taken between 055 and 13, shows the presidential car departing Beijing International Airport with the French leader inside. The vehicle joins a carefully organized convoy as it exits the airport grounds and proceeds towards central Beijing. Macron's visit comes during a period of heightened trade disagreements between the European Union and China. European officials have voiced concerns about what they describe as market distortions, industrial overcapacity, and barriers faced by European companies operating in the Chinese market. Beijing, in turn, has rejected these criticisms, arguing that its industries operate within fair competitive conditions. While the provided footage focuses on Macron's arrival, the broader context surrounding the trip includes ongoing EU investigations into Chinese electric vehicles, solar products, and strategic industries. China has warned that it views these investigations as unfriendly actions that could potentially lead to retaliatory measures. This two-day visit is expected to include high-level talks between Macron and Chinese President Xi Jinping. According to earlier diplomatic briefings, the French leader aims to reassert France's role in shaping Europe's China policy while pushing for commitments on trade reciprocity and improved market access. China is expected to emphasize the importance of stable and cooperative relations with Paris as part of its wider engagement with European partners. Macron's visit also carries a geopolitical dimension. As global tensions persist, particularly those involving the conflict in Ukraine, shifting global supply chains, and competition between major economies, both France and China, view bilateral communication as necessary to prevent further deterioration in relations. Although no joint statements have yet been released, both governments have previously acknowledged the significance of sustained high-level dialogue. The imagery from Beijing International Airport reflects a carefully managed diplomatic reception. Macron's arrival was handled under standard state visit protocol, with visible coordination between airport officials, security personnel, and diplomatic representatives. No large ceremonial formations were present at the tarmac, indicating that the official welcoming ceremony may be scheduled for later engagements within the visit's itinerary. Throughout the arrival sequence, Macron appeared composed and engaged, acknowledging the presence of Chinese officials and greeting Foreign Minister Wang with a direct handshake. This early diplomatic gesture is expected to set the tone for the subsequent meetings planned during the visit. The French president's discussions in Beijing are anticipated to explore economic cooperation, strategic stability, and areas of bilateral concern, including technology transfers, supply chain security, climate commitments, and broader regional developments. European industry observers have been closely monitoring the visit, expecting Macron to advocate for stronger safeguards against trade imbalances and competitive pressures faced by European manufacturers. While the raw document does not provide additional dialogue, historical patterns of such visits suggest that Macron will raise issues relating to France's industrial competitiveness, clean energy cooperation, and mutual access to sensitive sectors. For its part, China is expected to emphasize its position that trade restrictions imposed by Brussels threaten long-term stability in the economic partnership. The diplomatic timing of the visit is also notable. With global economic uncertainty continuing to shape international markets, both countries are navigating complex negotiations that blend national interests with broader geopolitical shifts. France remains a central actor in EU policy toward China, and Macron has repeatedly signaled that Europe must maintain autonomy in managing its relations with Beijing, while remaining aligned with core European values and security priorities. As the French motorcade left Beijing International Airport, the two-day state visit formally entered its operational phase. Meetings between Macron and Chinese leadership are expected to begin shortly after his arrival in the capital. These discussions will likely determine the tone of China-France relations heading into 2026 and could influence broader EU-China dynamics in the months ahead. The footage concludes with the presidential vehicle moving through the airport's exit corridor. The departure marks the transition from formal arrival procedures to the substantive diplomatic agenda awaiting the French delegation in Beijing. As President Emmanuel Macron's motorcade leaves Beijing International Airport, his two-day state visit officially begins, setting the stage for high-level discussions on trade, strategic cooperation, and the future of China-France relations. The meeting scheduled in Beijing will determine how both sides navigate ongoing economic tensions and wider geopolitical challenges. Further developments are expected as talks proceed and official statements are released.